So there are really two kinds of people in the world. Some people look at life with its disappointments and feel, I deserve much better. Life is just basically unfair. Other people have problems and suffer disappointments too, but they respond differently. Wow, I am such a blessed person. I am so thankful despite not getting even some of the big things I had hoped for. Now, I want to tell you about my brother Stevie when he was a little boy. You know Jerry, you haven't met Steve, I don't believe, but growing up, we had a family story which we called Steak Again. When my brother Steve was little, Mom would set a dinner plate in front of him, and he'd look down, disgusted, and would complain, "Steak again?" My amused father would repeat the phrase, "Steak again? Kids are starving in China." And all little Stevie could say is, "Steak again?" Kind of a cute story that we've told many times in our family. Of course, we don't want to be the steak again kind of people. We want to be that second kind, the kind who cultivates thankful hearts. But part of the secret here is to have a sense of proportion, to be most thankful for the most important blessings. Today, I'd like to share one of those blessings which deserve our deepest sense of appreciation. It's one of those, I like to call them big wows, one of those big wows, those truths which deserve our attention more than many other things. So let's talk about the darkest moment in Messiah Yeshua's life, something which happened just minutes before he passed away. So we read this, and this is from the Good News according to Mark, where it's recorded in quite these words. Quote, "And when the 6th hour had come, there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour. And at the 9th hour, Yeshua cried with a loud voice, 'Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani.'" Now this is the Aramaic version of Psalm 22, verse 1, recorded in Yeshua's daily language. A short while later, as Mark recounts, quote, "Yeshua uttered a loud cry and breathed his last." In Psalm 22, King David, 10 centuries earlier, cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" And Yeshua takes this prophetic scream on his own lips. So the question is, what exactly is going on here? Now, I'm relying on the work of a great scholar, Richard Bauckham. He wrote a book called Jesus and the God of Israel, and some of the material that I'd like to share with you, which I found so powerful, really comes directly from that book. Okay, so Psalm 22, verse 1. The context, what did David talk about? What's that all about? Well, roughly 40 Psalms in the Bible are called Psalms of Lament. There's different kinds of Psalms. There's Psalms of Praise, there's all kinds of different Psalms, but these are the Psalms of Lament, about 40 of them. And essentially, these Psalms ask a question. Where are you, God? I'm drowning here. Such questions are found a number of times in the Psalms of Lament, and they express the psalmist's anguished inability to see God at work during their moments of pain. King David says, "I'm in big trouble here, and God is not doing a thing about it. I thought he was with me, but I just feel completely abandoned by him. And I don't understand how this can be. It is incomprehensible to me." That's Psalm 22, verse 1. And that is the spirit of many of the Psalms of lament. David's words on the lips of Yeshua do not merely state the fact of his abandonment. They go further. They suggest another question. Why? Why is this happening? At that moment, when Yeshua was on the execution stake, that moment of nakedness and excruciating pain, of public ridicule and of abandonment by his closest friends, his Abba had turned his back on him. And at that moment, he is genuinely confused and traumatized by his Abba's absence. But Yeshua did not experience this suffering for himself, and this is critical. According to the biblical writer, Psalm 22, verse 1, is Yeshua's identification with all the God-forsaken of Israel and the world. Bachman writes this, and I'm going to quote, "Some commentators argue that the citation of Psalm 22:1 is Yeshua's cry of desolation belongs to Mark's presentation of Yeshua as the exemplary suffering righteous person, the innocent sufferer who maintains faith in God even in the extremity of suffering. We've already suggested that the significance of the cry of desolation is greater than this. It is a messianically inclusive cry with which Yeshua identifies himself with forsaken Israel, and with all can take the words of the psalm as their own. This all reveals the character of our Creator. Deep, empathic love, love, love. Let me explain why. To ensure the victory over death, God had to let this happen. It was his real, though temporary, abandonment of his beloved Son. Again, Messiah's suffering is not just a story about a great overcomer. That's not the point. It's the account of the one man Israel, Yeshua, who absorbs in himself the pain of all who encounter the worst and who feel that God has left them alone with their struggles. So, what difference does this make to you and to me? Well, there are many religious outlooks and philosophies of life, no end of things you can believe in and commit to. But a God who manifests his presence in Israel by identifying so deeply with our suffering, by sharing in suffering, this is unique. And the fact that all this happened in history, in reality, makes it all the more unique and wonderful. So, we'll sum up this way. All of us here at Ruach really have so much to be thankful for. The mere fact that we're able to come here today safely and have a lunch together in a little while, I mean, these are just two of a zillion examples. But our gratitude, our thanksgiving, can go much deeper. Yeshua revealed the most surprising, unexpected ways of God. By God's Messiah's sufferings, he showed us his heart toward all our suffering, not in some vague, second-hand, cerebral kind of way, but by the Messiah's actual experience as one who lived in Israel. It was recounted for us by people who knew him and who were present at his lowest moment. But there's more still. His resurrection and his promise to return to Eretz Yisrael. His resurrection proves the ultimate end of suffering, The kinds of suffering we understand and the kinds we just don't. Life has both. So during this season of Thanksgiving, choose to be grateful for the greatest things. As Messianic Jews, again, we have so much to be thankful for, but the love of God shown by Messiah's connection with us is at the top of my list. Where is it on your list? Shabbat Shalom, everyone.